Hey Bold Force, it is time for me to do the long-awaited paint demo. Yay! Woo! Hands in the
Yay!
shot. Woo! Woohoo! Yay! Yay! Now you guys can make a noise. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so guys, this is the first time I'm doing something like this, so bear with me. There are going to be some mistakes, and it's going to be fun. We're gonna
Paul, I'm just gonna fiddle with the camera just to show the live audience.
please fiddle with my camera and show the live audience.
Here's the live audience.
Yay.
Okay, then back. So no pressure, Paul.
No pressure.
No stage.
So yeah, so I have an idea for how I want this to go, and I was thinking about what's the best way to show you guys painting, and I figured a lot of you guys are struggling or scared of hand painting because you're all about them foil stickers, which, well, you know, I want to empower you. I don't want you guys to rely on foil stickers because they suck. So here's the thing. So I decided I'm just going to grab a few pieces, some of the more common pieces. I'm sure you guys can see them on the shot. There we go. Yes, you can. Okay, so I brought in some pieces from my big raw bow that I'm currently painting now, so that you know that I have skin in the game here, so that I'm not just, you know, telling you guys how to do stuff a tutorial style. I'm not actually doing it for myself. Brought some pots from my Geong, which I still need to finish, my real grade Geong. And I also brought in a Yakushiki's foot, which I don't care about, but it's the bottom of a Gundam foot, and those can actually be quite tricky to paint, so I figured you guys would dig that. Brought this in for some fun, like close-up details and tiny details. A Zaku axe, a heat hawk, as it's actually known. So I brought in one of these for that, and I got some Gundam heads, specifically a uni-style mono-eye head and a double-eye head. So yeah, and then I just brought this little bad boy in here because then you guys can actually see some weathering and stuff, and that's something I'd love to do on another one of these. Oh, look at it, it's blurring. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I don't even have to look up anymore.
As long as it's in the center.
As long as it's in the center. Okay, there we go. Jeff says if it's in the center, it's good. So yeah, so this is just the one that I've weathered, so cool. So that's pretty much what we're going to get into. We're going to paint some of these. I also want to do some detail painting on this Dilanza. Yeah, so I just want to put in some of these little dark spaces here where there's meant to be boosters. Maybe just painting some of these vents. So yeah, that's going to be cool. That's why I brought this bad boy over here, because he's actually a lot of fun. But yeah, and it's weird that they don't give you stickers for those sections, because they only give you like an eye sticker and a sensor.
It's probably because it's more complicated shapes.
Yeah, so there's that whole vibe. So anyway, I'm just going to put that aside for now. What I am going to be using today is I'm going to be using a combination of paints. It's all acrylic today. I don't want to do any lacquer painting or enamel painting today. So I brought in some Vallejo Mecha Color. I know it seems like Jeff and I are like serious shims for this stuff, like we're trying to get you guys to buy them, or serious shills for the stuff, but actually we really like this paint. So that's why I want to bring it. That's why I want to bring it to your attention and show you how versatile it is and how fun it is to use and paint with and all that. And then also a lot of you guys are in the comments going to go, "But Paul, have you heard of Citadel paints?" And to that I say, yes, I have. I even brought some for you, so we can go through the agony of that together. But that being said, there are some important sides to the Citadel paints. So for example, their shades are great. Their shades are awesome. The Lamium medium is fantastic. And I also brought Nuln oil because that is, I think, the thing that built the House of Warhammer. So yeah, got that in today. So those are the paints. What tools am I going to be using? Going to be using some airbrush cleaner, and that will be revealed to you guys soon. Got some airbrush flow improver. Yeah. What's that going to be useful for? You'll find out. I've got my trusty wet palette here, which I'm going to load with some wet palette paper. You can find tons of tutorials online to make your own wet palette. Don't be like Paul and spend 500 rand and buy one.
Just use baking paper.
Yeah, you can use baking paper over some wetness and make that happen. Anyway, that's a whole different tutorial. I brought in some brushes. Also wanted you guys to feel like that I'm not just using the world's best brushes. So I got this amazing Tamiya brush that I got about 13 years ago, which is so good. And I had a brother which I dipped into super glue by accident. And then I've got this other one which is from Army Painter, and people will tell you that these are good, but they're not. They're actually quite crap. But they do hold a point, so I will give them that. The problem with them is that they can be like kind of expensive, so whatever's. But then there's all of you guys that are like, I don't want to spend 120 Rand on a paintbrush, and I'm like, I hear you. So I went to P&A and got this great set of brushes. One of them was a whole 60 rands. The other one was a whole 70 rands. And I got a flat brush and I got some pointy little brushes. And you can see these aren't tiny, tiny, itty bitty little brushes, because you'll actually find those are actually quite counterproductive. You actually want something with a good, I don't know what they call it. It can hold a lot more water than other brushes. So that's the thing. So we got that. I got this paper here. This is also from Games Workshop. Yes, that's right. Games Workshop managed to convince me to spend a lot of money on something called a palette pad. Okay, which is just really, it's just bleed-proof paper that you could buy from Copic markets, really. Okay, or you can actually go to an art store and buy palette paper for about a third of the price. But you know, I was there, and I was all Games Workshop before, so I went and did that. We also got some Gundam markers, yay, which I'm going to use as well and show you guys how to clean those up. So yeah, let's start off with the very basics. Let me load up this wet palette. I figured you guys might want to see how this goes down. Let's get it in there.
Okay, Paul, before you get too heavy into it, there's probably going to be like a 30-minute timer until it stops.
Oh, I figured there would be a
let
30
you know.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's fine. It's good that we go in 30-minute heats. I can just turn around. Anyway, I'm just going to lay this in here. You're going to see the paper is going to kind of curl. And I'll do this. It's hypnotic for some. It's irritating for others. I'll let you pick which one I feel.
And yeah, people can paint without the wet palette, right?
Yeah, you can totally paint without the wet palette. And that's actually why I like these little metal dishes, because they're super easy to clean.
Yeah.
And
Or any little trace. But yeah, the advantage of having a wet palette to extend the
wetness of the paint, the workable quality of the paint, also it makes it easier for you to mix colors and all that good stuff, and you don't have to always make your brush wet. It's a thing. The other reason I just like a wet palette is that if I've worked out a color scheme like I'm going to do today, this will also, just for you guys watching, this will also serve as a color palette I'll be using on my Gundam artifact. Not the palette as such, but I'll be using the same paper because I'm cheap and we'll like to keep it going for longer. So I've got that going down. Yeah, this wet palette has already been soaked in, so we got all that good stuff happening, and let's pull out some paints. Yay! Okay, so I've already shaken these quite a bit. So the first one I normally like to start with is I'll pop a bit of a white there on the top there. So Vallejo paint does have a weird tendency to kind of pseudo separate on wet palettes, and it can be a little bit annoying. So I just want to make people aware of that. Then I'll have my color strings there. So I've got that going there. I'm going to put some of this magenta, which is, well, magenta fluorescent over there. That's actually quite a vivid color. That's quite fun. I'm not going to put metallics on the wet palette, and I'll explain to you guys why. That is because the metallic pigments tend to go through the paper sometimes, or they just contaminate other colors and then they make everything metallic. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, so if you guys want to know what the colors are that I've used here, I've used make a color pure white. That's actually what I used to mix color with. I got so that's for the video people and for the live people. And then I've got white gray, which is like a really good color for Gundam in general. Not that I'm going to use this as a Gundam color today. I've got the magenta fluorescent pink because I'm a psycho and I just like bright pink. It's great. It's very punk. So I can't say no. My other favorite is something called SV red or Sasabi red. Ooh, that's quite a lot. I normally won't use that much paint ever, because what a waste.
Yeah, you can always drop more, but you can't put back. Huh?
Yeah,
well, you can, but it's going to be very painful.
Yeah, you have to lick it first and stuff. It's weird. So, and then my Grey Z, and then the Phantom Grey over here, which is just the more hardcore version of the grey, and then of course pure black. So I'll keep that here on the left with my tones. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so guys, pro tip with Vallejo bottles, and I should be much better at this, but kind of every now and then they get a bit manky, so just give them a bit of a wipe so that they don't get paint in the thread. It's been quite gross and messes up the seal, allegedly. So, okay. And I've got my trusty friend over here, Mr. Kitchen Towel. And that'll actually just be where I clean my brush or test colors on or whatever's going forward. Okay, cool. So now that I have discussed everything that I'm doing, oh, and of course my Citadel water cup, which you guys can't see, it's over there. It's water, take my word for it. And yeah, so here we go. So let's see, what piece should we start with first? Let's warm up a little bit. Let's take this Gundam foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint in some gray details, and then I'm going to show you like when I make whoopsies, because I will make whoopsies. It's going to happen. And in this case I bought these handy clips. You can also use press stick. I'm going to find some place to like tag that onto. Give it a little bit of a pinch there. Obviously that's not happening in the part. That's just there. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to start off. Ooh. Oh, and that's one thing I actually didn't bring. I normally have like quite a messy brush which I use to mix my colors with. So I wouldn't use like a nice brush to mix colors with. So I'm gonna just use this this flat brush here. Is gonna be my sacrificial lamb. So yeah, some of you guys on your way. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We'll be back for the next one.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, cool.
Friends.
Go and see your friends. Well, thank you so much for popping through. I'm sorry we didn't
Thank
chat
you
so
for
much.
having us.
Yeah. That is so cool.
See you, Charles. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can.
Cool. So that's rated up. So.
Good shot at it.
It's perfect. I love it. It's like water.
Okay, so guys, if you look on the color palette there, you'll see I kind of pulled it out. It's kind of looking very thin. So it's about there. Cheers, you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good seeing you again. Cool. So, anyway. Okay, there we go. The BuildMeet is a live experience. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of lightly, and you're gonna see it's like gonna make like almost no impression on this paint, on this piece, and it's very wet, and it's just, I'm just kind of getting it to kind of sit there in the spaces there, and I'm just kind of trying to bring the material around, and I'm gonna leave it now, and I'm gonna go to the next one. This is kind of like the way I like to do this is I kind of like to sort of turn the paint into a little bit of a semi-wash so that it gets into the nooks and crannies, so that I don't have to try and double my paint efforts there trying to get that all in there. So, yeah. Don't worry, the camera can't see you, Dev. But I still want you to move very slowly. Kind of want you to treat it like it's a Jurassic Park situation. So, I just did a thing now, on purpose now. Because a lot of you guys, you know, when you're painting, you get impatient. I'm not saying all of you, but you guys get impatient. You're like, okay, I want to cover it up now. And if you look carefully, you'll see there's a little bit of a hole that formed there now because I pulled some of the paint off. So, yeah. So I'm just going to blow on it lightly. Okay, normally what I would use this as a hairdryer, but I was like, already had too much to carry. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. I'm going to attack another piece now. So on this, this is a throwaway piece from an Ultraman kit. And I just want to make this little section here a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to grab this gray. This is the Phantom Gray, by the way. So just so you guys can see how dark that... Oh, crap, you can't even see that on the camera. Let me do that. Okay, so that's how... So there we go. So you can see it's pretty thin. It's not like crazy. And I'm also... So you'll see here I'm using a flat brush. And why am I using a flat brush? Because it gets me good coverage. And it gets a lot of paint out. And what you want to do is, when you're painting, you want to start with your biggest brush first. You want to kind of go with the biggest shape you can, and then work to your smaller shapes. Okay, so letting that dry now. You can sort of see if I bring it up closer to the camera. You'll see it's kind of like looks a little bit purpley or whatever it's because the gray is affecting. Let's see if this is drying out yet. It hasn't sort of dried to a place that I like it yet. And I'm just going to clean this brush off quickly. So I'm going to use my fancy little Citadel water cup. The one thing that I'm actually really happy about. And I'm just going to clean my brush on there. Okay, and a trick about brushes, you don't let them sit upside down because, don't let them sit upside, like this is actually technically upside down. So you don't want the water coming into the thingy, the ferrule, thank you. That was the name I was looking for, that just completely escaped me. Thank you, Zenith. So yeah, you don't want water going into the ferrule, you don't want anything going into the ferrule, and you'll also notice, and I'll make this more obvious now, I'm just going to change to a different brush now. You'll see that I won't dip, only the tip of the brush is going to get paint. Okay, so I just always like to make my brushes a little bit wet first, then I kind of do this. This is just to remove any kind of dust or any chemical or whatever in there that I don't want in there anymore. And I'm going to grab a nice dark color. Just trying to think where I should put that. Ooh, actually I got a great place for that. So let's pop this open quickly. Yay, it's fun watching people take these things apart on camera. Okay, and my trusty clip. Pop it there so I can actually hold it. So guys, this is also like super helpful. If you got some means to hold hold it in your hand, you can. Okay, so now I'm gonna get a bit brave now. I'm gonna grab some of this black paint. This is pure black from Vallejo Mecha. I'm gonna sort of put it there on the paper just to get a lot of paint off, and just gonna get some in there. And let's see how this goes. So here's a trick for you. When you're painting, you don't have to use fancy, wonderful lines. Just think in straight lines, right? So here I'm going to hold the piece like this, kind of at an angle. I hold my brush. I'm trying not to hold my brush too close to the actual tip because you actually don't have as much control. And I'm just doing straight lines from there. And because the plastic is going to be a little bit resistant at first, this first coat we're putting in is more to serve as a bit of a toothy coat. I'm going to change the angle of the piece again, and I'm going to move straight with my hand. Like one or two little coats there. As Duncan Rhodes would say, 2 thin coats. And here's the trick, guys. This is like, oh crap, my head's in the way. And this is the trick, guys. This is really what's going to help you a lot. It's just think in straight lines. Don't try to like hold the piece here and try to paint around it. Don't try to be like fancy and whatever. It's just hold the piece at an angle, hold your brush at an angle, and go in a line. It's that easy. And well, it's that simple, but takes a little while to just sort of get it in your system. But I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer and you guys can already see the kind of detail that's happened there already. You can see it's actually looking pretty clean, all things considered. Grab a little bit more. I'm going to just get some of that off. You see my big noggin is getting in the shot there a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a little bit. So, if you guys are wondering, like, okay, so I could have done this in one of 2 ways. I could have just painted the eye color in first, then painted the black around the eye color, and that would have been fine. The reason I don't want to do that, and this is actually very, very important, a very important stage of your painting. Paint smart, okay? Think about what you're going to do before you do it. So in this case, I did the black first because any color I put over is actually going to be lighter. than the black because it's going to be for the eyes. And if I make a mistake or whatever, it's easier for me to clean up black from the eye without a color being there already than it is for me to, paint a color there, and then I have the added nerves of trying to paint around that and not making a mistake. So I'm actually trying to lower the stakes for myself a lot more, and just trying to just keep it super chilled and easy. I'm just going to let that paint settle a little bit because I'm just sort of gauging how quickly it's taking to dry stuff. On the paper, it's going pretty quickly, but so anyway, I'll put that to the side. Cool. Then let's see how this is looking. Okay, cool. Let me get back to my fun flat friend over here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of paint there. I'm sure you guys can see.
Yeah, so it's always good to do it in layers, eh?
Yeah. You want to go nice thin layers. Don't.
That's how you prevent brush strokes.
Yes. Yeah. Especially because what happens is, we all want it to work magically, that you touch it and it goes wow and it fills up with color. But the reality of it is that that's not going to happen until it has actual teeth for the brushes or for the paint to pick up on. So essentially what we're doing is we're building some tooth here, so that it can catch onto it. So you're just going to have to be a little bit patient. And with the mecha color in particular, you sort of have to take heed of the fact that it is designed to be airbrushed. Oopsie, I just did an impatient thing there. Oh, I went 2 different directions. Okay, good. I'm glad I made that mistake for you guys. I didn't even plan it that way. Just like, cool.
Happy little accidents.
Yeah, happy clouds. Happy clouds. As they say. But yeah, guys, actually, the little subconscious thingy. So what do I do about that? I do nothing. I wait for it to dry. But while the paint on the edges is still sort of wet, I can use a Q-tip, which I'm going to. That's why I have these. I feel like I didn't mention them in the tool introduction video. Thanks. Jeff is just saving everybody from my giant teeth. Thanks, Jeff. I'm just sort of rubbing that off where I can, and even rubbed off some of that inside. Oh well. It's gonna happen. Cool. So I'll pop that there for a bit. While that's taking its time to dry. So this paint is starting to look a bit thin, so I need to actually refresh it. Actually, I want to just see if this is right. So you'll see a lot of miniature painters will like tap a bit of paint on their nail, and that's what that's for. Is to check the consistency of the paint, the opacity. For those of you coming from Photoshop, the opacity and flow. Okay, let's try that again. Tappity tap. So you'll see, once again, just a reminder, my whole brush doesn't go into the paint, okay? I'm not trying to drown this thing, okay? I just
it doesn't go into the ferrule?
Yeah, so it doesn't, because if it goes into the ferrule, what's going to happen is, it's going to, the brushes are going to start blooming. They're going to go out. They're going to look crazy. And then you're going to have a airbrush cleaning brush.
Plus you're going to be wasting your paint if it's too deep in the brush.
So this has gone on quite nicely here. This was a nice example of 2 light coats, or 2 thin coats. I have made a bit of a whoopsie here and there, but that's fine. I'm going to fix that so easily just now.
Ooh, looks good.
Looking good, thanks man. Then this is starting to look dry. So again, the whole angle trick. You'll see me kind of like stabilizing, because I don't have to use my. I'm just going in once again straight lines, and I traditionally, because I was never taught how to paint, but when I do paint, I've always felt the best results came when I took a brush away from myself as opposed to bringing a brush towards myself. So it's easier for me to paint a line doing this, or should I say that, than it is for me to do it this way.
Makes sense as well.
Yeah. Well, should I say this way? Like, pulling a brush stroke is a different thing as long as you're pulling your arm, but I don't want to get like hyper technical. That's looking still a bit wet. Let me get in there and tap that a little bit. Just want to get that looking again. There we go. Now it's starting to actually get some form. And yeah, I'm hitting there in the corner there by accident because that's going to happen. Sometimes, guys, you need to understand that it's gonna happen. Sometimes it just has to happen. It's easier to paint and just hit a wall there, knowing that you can clean it up later, or paint over it, than it is to try and like avoid it and be like, damn it, you know, because then you get yourself all crushed in there. Just want to see how this is doing. Okay, there is a little detail I want to paint on this, and I'm going to show you guys a quick little sloppy, dirty technique here. Okay, so just want to pull this onto the wet bit. Just takes off some of that paint. So you'll see there's a great little detail, sort of like there in the head. I'm going to paint it now. I'm going to enhance it, but I'm going to paint like sloppy over it. I'm going to be like, okay, really like quite gross. Okay, and it looks like it's a mess. Okay, but because I'm not going to be painting this kit, I'm painting it on the plastic. I'm going to remove that just now once it sort of settles in and dries. I would try to do it now, but I think I don't want to risk putting in too much force. So I'll show you now with the airbrush cleaner. I'll do that. I like a clean brush. So I'm just going to clean that up quickly. I love the Citadel water pot because of the little ribbing on the inside. It really does help to clean the brush out quite a bit. And then we'll put that there. Okay, let's see what's happening here. I think we're kind of ready for a little bit of white on that eye. So for this, I'm going to use the pure white. Okay, so pure white is fun. I'm going to just get a bit of it on there. This I actually love this palette paper. Sometimes the tissue takes a little too much paint off. This palette paper is like just right. Again, I'm just gonna pray to the Gundam gods and get some white paint. Oh, sorry.
Back deep.
That little bit of white that's going on there is very subtle. And I'm actually being a little bit nasty with it. I'm making a little.
You want me to zoom in?
Yeah, actually, would you mind? Okay, so this is a little bit more thin than I normally would do. Actually, no, this is exactly as thin as I normally do. Especially for white. White is so non-committal as a pigment because it's quite transparent, but then it can dry quite chalky. So the instinct for you might feel your instinct would be to keep layering it, keep doing stuff to it, but actually don't, because the more you build up, the more the pigment in the white builds up, and then it ends up giving that chalky look. So just leave it there. I really love Vallejo's white, especially the Mecha Color white, the pure white and the grey, because they have a gloss finish, and that kind of speaks to me of it leveling out better, and it just works out so nice and smoothly. So I'm just going to put this here in my little cat scratcher over there. It'll just dry off. We're nearly at this point where I'm going to like paint one of these shiny, yummy, grape flavored purple pieces, aka Frieza's Testicle. But I do want to just quickly get into this Geong bit here. So there's a piece here that shows off here, and when I hit that with some pure white, I'm going to go over with some Sasabi white. So I'm not going to use a flat brush for this one, just because, you know, I've got this brush loaded, and I'm pulling in one direction again, and it is a bit choppy. I'll just wait for that to level out and dry, because white can be a little bit, like I said, tricky, and you'll immediately see, like, so now I'm just making it bubbly, and I'm going to leave it because that's going to settle now nicely, and it's going to look lacquer. So I'm going to I'll just put it there so you guys can watch paint dry. Because that's fun. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to do, give a dramatic color to. Okay, you know what, just for giggles, okay, I'm not going to do the whole spine like this. I'm just going to do one of them. So I'm going to paint this, these cheap brushes are so great. And here we are, we're back from the time warp. And yeah, so I'm just putting, once again you can see my hand is moving in the same shape that it always has been. I touch more paint, and as I'm doing this, yeah, it looks bad, you know. This is, we call this the ugly stage.
Now, white is also very
opaque. I mean, not opaque, translucent.
it's also a weak pigment.
Yes.
So yeah, you're gonna go over like double the layers. So it's like, you know, maybe even instead of 3 layers for usual colors, you might even do 6. But yeah, again, do light coats.
Yeah. So the thing, yeah, like I said, white can be very non-committal. You need it because it's going to push the color out above it. So now I'm just doing a bit of crisscross because this seems to have dried quicker. So bigger pieces, bigger surface area, quicker drying time. Weird, but it just sort of worked out that way today for this. I don't know why. Normally it doesn't work out that way. Okay, also remember this is like this is years of my painting experience that I'm trying to distill to you. So if at all possible, do as I say, not as I do. Because I'm making decisions here that I trust, but you know, I don't want you guys to accidentally pick up a bad habit from me without having walked a little bit of that mile and understanding why that sort of felt natural for me. So again, you guys can see it looks kind of like crappy and splotchy. So you just leave it, you know, you leave it alone. This is why I talk about like paint smart. Paint smart, because like you can paint this piece here, for example, like let's say that's the only one I want to make white. In this case, for this demo, it is. So, you know, work as in a sort of production line. Go, cool, this one, then find the next piece that you want to paint up with white.
So personally, when it comes to hand painting, I usually like to do the white colors first because I know I need to do more layers of white. So I do one coat of white, I move on to the next color, and I'll come back to the white. And
Yeah, so that there we go. That's painting smart. That works out very nicely. I'm doing a demo, so I just want to show you how that works. But yes, I like what Jeff said. Jeff, would you mind checking the Discord to see if there's any questions or whatever's in the...
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is actually very, very too much water in this brush. I want it to be a
No
little
questions
bit...
at the moment.
No questions at the moment. So now I'm using a sharper brush. Oh, Spy Family is great. I am, but it's organic, man. Like, I don't. You know, you guys come here to chill out. You didn't come here to like, you know,
listen to a lecture.
Yeah, to be in a quiet lecture.
That's what's Gunpla school.
Okay, so I'm using the pointed brush for this section now because I feel like the flat brush is not going to get in there properly and I need more control.
Again, guys, the first layer of paint is always going to look crap, but it sets the foundation. It's the grip for the next layer.
It's and also, guys, if you're using Vallejo Air or Game Air or the Vallejo Mecha Color, the first layer is going to look crap because these paints are thin for airbrushing. Yeah. What are you guys throwing around, you animals? But this is cool. This brings me to my exciting first secret trick that I wanted to teach you guys. So I don't know why I've never seen this on the internet. I don't know why. Sorry, you'll see this is also me shaping the brush using the line in my hand.
That's really smart. I've never used that before.
So that was something I learned from watercolor painting from a book, sadly. So I'm going to use my Q-tip, and I'm going to use my good friend here, trusty airbrush cleaner, and I'm just going to like sort of shove that bit there because I want the fat bit. And guys, I care about this, but these are actually paper Q-tips. They're actually made out of recycled paper. Well, at least the packaging says they're made out of recycled paper. Either way, they're made out of paper, so at least they're biodegradable. Okay. There's a lot of this material on this, so I'm just gonna get it off there a bit. I don't want too much of it. I don't want it drenched. Okay. I just want it to be damp, you know, moist. Hopefully, like your significant others. I'm terrible. This is why my friends don't let me go out anymore. Oh, sorry, it's my head in the shot. So I'm magically rubbing off the paint. The whoopsies. I'm getting it nice and clean and in there. Cool thing is I've done all the hard work has been done. So I just need to go in there a little bit with a little bit of extra. And that is why I got my other friend, and you guys, nobody was expecting this. I'm going to use my knife. I'm going to very softly scrape off just a little bit of that excess paint that I don't want there. Just a tiny bit. And that will help me get a bit of a sharper look. I'm not too worried about that little bit there that went into the panel line, because I am going to panel line that. But let me just bring this closer to the camera, and hopefully in the focus target. There we go, guys. You can see it. That's like pretty neat, eh? And it's really easy to do, and you don't have to like crap yourself with 50,000 layers of paint to get that right. So it's a goodie. Cool. 30 minutes. Okay, let's see. So while I'm at it, and while I've still got a little bit of moisture on my Q-tip, I'm gonna get dangerous. That was not a euphemism, but if you thought it was, I'll allow it. I mean, not a euphemism, an innuendo. It's both really, just really depends on how dirty you are.
We so dirty, it's always innuendo.
Good. That's how I like it. That's how it is in my household. Okay. So far that's looking not bad. Jeff has just kicked something. Are you okay, Jeff? A fun detail inside Gundam heads. For those of you guys building any type of ground type Gundam, actually any kind of Gundam, there's a flap that's inside the head. I don't know if you know, it's like inside, and then the eyes sort of rest up on it. If you can, try and paint it before you assemble. It actually helps a lot to make it darker. So I'm going to do that here with my flat brush. If anybody cares what the number of this brush is, it's a number 4. I don't know what that means, but it's a 4. I just got it because it seems like the right size to get in here. So it's probably got to do. It's probably got something to do, like something important, you know, with like crystal size. I just don't want you guys to feel like you have to have a number 4 brush. That's why I like sets, because I'm super indecisive. I'll sit in like at an online store and I'll be like, do I want the 000 or the 00? You know, and then I don't buy anything. So yeah, I just like the licorice all sorts, you know. Can I have a ginger cookie? Hello, hi. Jeff, cookie me, please.
No, good. You want some ginger nuts? You want some ginger nuts?
I will take ginger nuts to my face. Thank you very much. That's ready now. I want everybody who's watching this video to know that to do this without me being able to smoke is very difficult. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, I want to put on some SZ red on this. I am going to use a pointy brush. This is a size 3 brush. a size 3 round pointed. It's called a detailer according to it's a Montmartre. The slightly higher quality cheap brand paintbrush out there. I love this red though. It's got such a this red has actually got such a great quality to it. It's not like very red. It's kind of spacey red. It kind of feels like the right kind of red that should be on a spacesuit. It's kind of warm. So here with the red, I've kind of given it a bit more of an English dub for what? For yeah. What for psychic? Oh, okay. That might actually happen. I mean, Mob Psycho got a dub. So. Apparently, very good. Yeah. I just want you guys to know that the internet's probably judging you, especially our Discord. They're like, "What? Who watches dubs?" I like dubs. I like to do two things at the same time. That's why reading my anime is not one of them. I want to be able to paint or work on a kit. I don't want to like work on a kit, see action, and read a novel.
If you have a certain age group, we all watch dub.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was saying? Which one was it? Jeff, was it you and Loud where I heard somebody talking about dub, about tube? Bye. So guys, what color do you think this Gundam's eyes should be? Should I make them like super hot pink, or should I make them kind of like green? Pink. Thank you, pink. I was gonna go with pink anyway. I was hoping you guys would say pink. Executive decisions. Okay. Okay, where's my... I had a brush that I actually used for mixing the paint, and then I ended up painting with it, so... Just getting this hot, sexy pink ready. Sasuke! Guys, in Gundam Witch from Mercury, the only issue I have with the dub is they call her Miorine, which I just don't like that. Like, it's not wrong, you know. It's like you can go Han Solo or Han Solo, they're both correct. You know, it's that kind of thing.
One of them is more correct than the other.
True. But the princess does call him Han first. Or Han. I think she calls him Han first. I didn't mind it, hey?
Yeah. He's not real for me. Yes.
There's I don't think that's an unfair. Oh wow, that looks so good. Airbrush.
That's pretty good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Airbrush hopefully one day might come out straight.
Your photos don't do that thing justice there. Sorry, I know I can be a bit of an asshole with the photo thing, but it's more because I want your kids to have the. But yeah, I want to see.
Share it with the video, because otherwise your viewers are gonna like wonder what you're talking about.
Look at this, guys. It's amazing.
Space Stacy's
I'm
first.
gonna put a pretty little cloud in.
First Space Stacy's first painted build.
Beautiful. Wow, what a great finish, eh? Spray paint, if you do it properly, it's so good. So what was the secret, Space Dusty? Light bursts.
Pretty much, yeah. Just
Yeah.
a lot of patience. I mean, this took a couple of weeks, so just no rushing, just waiting for everything to dry, I guess.
There we go. Patience, waiting for things to dry.
And I started just testing on the shield first to see if it even works.
Just tested on the shield. If I may ask, what brand of spray paint did you use?
Everything was to me, I think.
Okay, so you went a full Tamiya roundup. Jeff, I don't want to touch this because I've got paint in my hand. I don't want it to rub off.
I only got Doritos in my hand.
Okay. Only thing I have in my hand are these nuts.
You talking about these nuts?
Yeah, these nuts.
Ginger's
Ginger
these
nuts.
nuts. Yeah, you got to show it on screen, otherwise people are like, they think weird stuff.
Otherwise they're gonna think it's only phone.
This looks so nice. Yeah, love that.
This pink is starting to look quite cool on the eyes. I'm just waiting for it to. It's just still light, still in its like light fluffy mode. But it looks pretty good. I don't hate it. Don't hate it. I'm gonna put a little bit of Nuln oil in there just now as a bit of a panel wash. And as I said, I wanted to make this spine thing here pink.
So you have white as the base.
Yeah.
That will make pink more vibrant.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah,
Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to go over the red directly.
that's correct. Also, unfortunately, any color, like your super bright colors, your pinks, like especially like if it's like fluorescent, and especially fluorescent colors, guys, are very thin. They're almost transparent.
So always paint over white.
Or know it's gonna happen. Yeah. For those of you watching the video, I don't know if you can hear the anime murmuring in the background. You probably can't because this is a cardioid mic, so it's only really picking up ruh, 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 and then I think my voice, which is not the ruh, 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 ruh. I hope I'm a word. Okay, so I think I'm ready. I think I'm brave. I think I've warmed up enough to do the Begwa balls. You guys are wondering why like I have flow improver. That'll be revealed soon. For now, I don't need it because I've actually got. Oh, and that's something I sort of should have probably mentioned earlier with the palette. When I put water in the palette, I had a bit of my water is mixed with a bit of sunlight liquid, so that just helps to remove the turgidity from the water, stop the water from being too
Retention?
bubbly. Yeah, just to soften the water tension. Okay, so here I'll even use the same clips I used when I airbrushed it to get my bad boy clip in there. Actually want to use a slightly smaller flat brush, the number 3 flat brush. So actually a little bit nervous about this one, as one should be, but I've got enough warm up on the junk parts. Let me just show me, you guys talking about the Rick and Morty thing.
No, we're talking about Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, shame.
Nah, like I think the Rick and Morty thing you can get firewood. Sorry, they're fine. There's other people that work on the show.
Yeah, I heard like Harry Potter, a lot of them where it's like you just not focus on space bit and stuff.
But you see, someone made a list of the best viewed Rick and Morty episodes, and all of them, none of them are the ones written by.
Yeah, they all the other episodes. Yeah. Because it's humans weird, bro.
I'm stop helping us.
Yeah, you guys hear that he used to sit with on and watching.
So Jethro, before you speak, just remember you're being recorded. What's up? Oh, you're watching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to check if you're alright.
Oh, I'm good, thank you, dude.
I was making sure you were recording before I said it.
I know. That's just we're so like gonzo with this.
Yeah.
All from today.
What? Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try not be. Let's not be part of the problem. So yeah, this is going well, actually. There's another one here that I was actually. This one here, this is going to be the tricky one, and I've kind of run out of clips. Kind of. So this is acrylic paint being painted over a lacquer finish, and I've tested this. This is Mr. Hobby's lacquers. They are resistant to the Vallejo airbrush clean, so that's why it's really nice to paint with these acrylics and get the, you know, if I make mistakes or something.
Business administration.
Let's go to the next one. It should be dry by now.
I don't like
I just don't like that show. Shame, I thought Screech was. I was hoping Screech might be able to pop in today. Just, I know he's not feeling lacquer, but I just thought it'd be cool if he could.
Yeah, probably not a good idea for him to drive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, it's a driving setup.
I think he's got a sling.
Yes, he does. Yeah. So now I'm pulling towards myself when I'm painting, because it's now at a point where I feel like it can work. Once again, it's in a straight line. What's important is that you aren't going. You're always moving in
One
direction.
Yeah. And try not to fiddle with the paint too much.
Yeah.
Do a little bit, like let it, while it's wet, and then just let it be until you come back with another coat.
So there are a lot of people out there who prefer to do this kind of thing that I'm doing now with enamel paint. And enamel paint has got some great advantages over acrylic when it comes to this kind of detail painting. The first being that enamel paint just flies a little better sometimes. It gets a chemical bite, which I like. And yeah, just kind of works. It's kind of a versatile paint. The bad side of using the enamel paint is that I feel like the color options are limited, so you always have to mix a color, get a whole bunch done and ready.
So they take a long time to
They take a
dry.
long time to dry. Not that long, it's not like the worst, but they do take a long time to dry. And a lot of people, again, I don't mind the smell of acrylic, but sometimes, I mean, of enamels, but sometimes it does give me a headache. And a lot of people have that problem. Yay, final coat.
No, so it's not to say like, one type of paint is like crappier over the other. It's just they have their different properties, so use them, to their advantage.
Yeah.
For different applications.
Like enamels can be so powerful if you want to do things like sludge washes and panel lining. And for a long time I used enamels almost exclusively as my like sort of second coat color, or as my detail painting choice, because I didn't know my cool airbrush cleaner trick, and that kind of happened by accident. I can't even remember how I discovered that. That's kind of sad, but I just remember. Oh yeah, that's right, I made a mistake. And I smelled the airbrush cleaner and I was like, well, this is not a thinner. Because it's not a thinner, it's just a paint remover. I'm going to try that out. And guys, I can't tell you exactly what is in the airbrush cleaner. Yeah, this is me painting it with a flat brush after I used a pointed brush earlier. Why? Because I'm a maniac and it just seems like fun to try, so I'm doing it.
Plus it's easy to clean up.
Plus it's easier to clean up. And also guys, like, here's the thing, for the longest time I only had like one brush as a kid. I painted everything with this one Revell brush or some crap that I had, and that thing, I still have it. It somehow followed me. It somehow survived. I use it to clean my airbrush now. But yeah, I've used to do a lot of hand painting with that. Here I'm just gonna be like, who gives a shit? I'm just gonna like just be messy there. I'm even gonna try and be careful.
Yeah. If you do make a mess, you can almost like same principle as like a reverse wash. You just take a cotton bud, a bit of thinner to clean it up.
So anyway, so that's where enamels can be quite fun. But anyway, coming back to the chemical makeup of the airbrush cleaner. The airbrush cleaner smells a lot like window lean to me. So, if you guys want to smell it, there we go. Just scratch the screen. Yep,
Scratch and
definitely window cleaner, window lean. Or at least the chemical base that window lean is made of. I keep wanting to paint these little bad boys greenish here. What's my time looking like?
Okay, 28 minutes. So I can just stop and...
Yeah, actually, I just want to just get a few ones here. So let me pop that in over there. Looks so nice. Actually came up well. And
okay, we'll do a cut. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at that pink eye. Yep, that's what happens when you don't wash your hands.
You get pink eye.
Well, or you give it to somebody else. So what kind of texture or what kind of consistency do you want with this paint? I've heard quite a few different things from different people. The most common phrase I hear is melted ice cream for when you're painting. I feel like that's kind of a good, that's a pretty good place.
Melted ice cream.
Melted ice cream, yeah. That's the kind of consistency you want. So like when you want to airbrush, skim milk. And then when you want to, hold on. Yes, I did put that in my mouth now. Yeah, Jeff's like, yeah. And I'm like, it tastes like strawberries. Taste the fun. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on the actual palette. I'm gonna use. Okay. So why did I put it straight here on my palette paper and not on my wet palette? I kind of want this second coat here to be a bit more tacky. Don't want it to be as thinned out, and there's enough water loaded in my brush to do some madness. Although those brushes fighting with me a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's see. There we go. Layers of pink. Well, you won't regret it because Most Wanted is still better than all the new Need for Speeds. What are you playing it on? What are you playing it on? PC? There is none. Most Wanted has no customization. It's you drive it like you stole it, kind of thing. Because that is what you do in it. You steal cars.
Upload that file to the cloud, whatever, then use it. Don't say
This brush is getting stupid on me.
So I lost my
Wow, the point on this brush has completely died, and I was actually very, very good with this paint. So sometimes that will happen with you with a bit of a shitty brush. Yeah, it's already splitting. It's so annoying. Oh well, c'est la vie. That's why I brought another one. Cool. Pink eye, pink eye, pink eye. Okay, we just flat brush in there a little bit quickly, and then I think. Tony, did you finish Sekiro?
I haven't. Monkey, I was like, nah, I'm done.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I can't. Which one? They're like, one like, after like a decapitated, and he like pulls it out, and he was like,
Yeah.
like, nah, yeah. Yeah, I know. When I spoke to them, there was like 2 of them there. I was like, yeah.
No, you yeet it out. I feel you.
That's the first time I actually. That's the whole test on the screen.
But I was thinking about trying again after like playing Warlock, like the demo.
Yeah.
He said like the deflect is very similar to Sekiro. So like, oh, maybe I should just go back.
And Sekiro, are you playing that on console or PC?
Console.
And are you play TV or monitor?
TV.
Set your TV to game mode if you haven't already.
Does it help with the frame rate?
Yeah. For Sekiro especially.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, that's probably why you're having problems.
Oh, I think I just suck.
No.
Yeah.
And Sekiro did that first. Where, like, once you understand that,
Yep. You learn a martial arts.
Yeah.
You go from Souls to Sekiro.
Yeah.
I could never use it. Beautiful game.
But you couldn't get used to Sekiro. I can't play Dark Souls for shit.
Really?
I appreciate the game mechanic. I just don't like the having to roll. No, that's not actually not true. I just don't like the pace of it. I don't like how sluggish it feels.
Bloodborne?
It is so.
I love Bloodborne.
That was my first Souls.
Bloodborne is brilliant.
Yeah. There's an art style that made me buy Bloodborne. Elden Ring is the only one I actually finished.
I'll go you. I still need to finish Elden Ring actually, but that's just because of time. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's looking almost good enough. We get let's get the rest of the grey, and you actually want to use the flat because it's just going to get more work done. Hopefully, I can get this little bad boy done. Ooh, the paint is at that nice point now. It's feeling sticky but workable. There's legal reasons why what can't come to PC? Oh no.
Let me donate.
Yeah, isn't it funded by Sony or something?
Let's donate the rest.
Oh, cool, man. Nice, man. Cool thing is, you guys can always like watch back on the video.
I was gonna watch it. When are you gonna upload it? Tonight.
Probably tonight. I'll probably work on it like tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's much quote unquote editing that needs to be
just
done.
needs to like stitch it.
It needs to be stitched, yeah.
Probably put some black background music or something. I think so, yeah.
If memory serves, yes, it does.
Oh, value looks so cool. I nearly bought that. And I bought Gian instead.
As a general rule, all the Bandai heads are ball joint from, let's say, as a general rule, from 2008 upwards. Maybe even sooner in some cases, but
That's a lot. That's most of the
yeah, thankfully. You can. I have done it.
Take the Tony.
She actually comes with a special neck joint, eh? For that stuff, yeah. When I
Oh, it's stickers. I think you need to add on the neck.
oh, she's still got stickers.
No.
Lame.
No, I'm saying does it? I'm seeing one that says sticker 11, so it's like, right?
I think there's like a grey piece. That's a sticker or something. I know this is thrilling.
This one is perfect. I can watch it tomorrow. Hopefully start playing it.
Cool, man.
I know it does come with a
You're gonna hear yourself in the camera and you're gonna be all like, that's me. Oh, good.
I say this.
2 Minute Tony. I hope that's not your street name.
It's 30 seconds.
So, guys, now I am actually doing. I've changed the paint strokes. So, as you noticed earlier, I was going horizontal. Well, vertical. Sorry, it's actually what I meant. Now I'm going horizontal like this, and I had the benefit of being able to turn the piece to do it as well, which is always nice. And the reason I'm doing that is just to get a little bit of crisscross, and that just sometimes removes brush strokes, evens things out. Good times. Good times. Anyway, I'm actually really happy with how this has come out. It's actually cool. And yes, my hands are messy because I'm a messy child. I paint things. Clean up. Typically, this kind of setup is very elaborate. Like, normally I wouldn't have the cutting mat underneath me, to be very honest with you. Normally I just have all of this stuff in like a model box, sort of aside. And like, I'm gonna see if I can bring it out here for you. I like to do a lot of this kind of painting in the lounge when I'm watching stuff. Don't always like to be like stuck in my studio or whatever doing stuff, so I like to have this like kind of on a small table, like my small coffee table, and then I will sort of paint these and bring them to myself, and just I know exactly what color I want to do, so I'll pick the one color and go. Keep the wet palette with me. It's only when I start doing like miniatures, like like the artifact stuff, or Warhammer miniatures or fantasy miniatures or something, where I need to get like really hectic with mixing paints, that I get them. But yeah, guys, I feel like we covered a lot of ground. I want to just do the last little bit of this video now. It's just I want to get in there. I just want to just clean those bits out there. This is a little bit messier. I normally wouldn't have it quite this messy for a final piece, but I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree that, for those of you who are having trouble painting, I hope that this has helped. And this still looks better than stickers. So,
are you coming to the end?
I'm coming to the end. So, I'm not going to come at the end, but...
Goodbye.
Maybe that was too far. I don't know anymore. So next time, guys, I'll get onto that Delanza. Maybe this is better, because then you can have some questions for me for next time. And obviously, please post images of what you've done and if you've improved. I've just put some airbrush cleaner on this Q-tip here, and I'm just slowly working it out here. The one thing I forgot to bring today was, well, I did kind of forget it, is my toothpicks. Sometimes I just loosen the paint up with this stuff, and then I'll use a toothpick to kind of do the final mission. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Space Dusty is a wonderful gift to mankind. So I just want to to humankind, my apologies. Sorry guys, it's a few years of conditioning. Okay.
So you're scratching it off.
Yeah, just scratching it off a little bit because I've made it weaker. Guys, I'm not like gouging into this piece, okay? So because I mean, if this was on another, if this was on another paint job, obviously I don't want to scratch that.
And what is the red being painted with? Lacquer base.
The red? No, the red's just plastic.
Oh, plastic. Oh, yeah. And then you don't need to worry about.
Then I don't have to worry too much. So yeah, so that's pretty clean. You can even get in here with a little bit of a toothbrush to get rid of some of the dust. And then the final, absolute wonderful fun thing that you're going to do here now. And I'm going to use this brush that has betrayed me. I'm going to use a little bit of Nuln oil. Yes, I've got a metal ball in there. I don't know why I've got a metal ball in shade, but I do. I think this Nuln oil is very old. I think when I bought this Nuln oil, it was maybe still 30 Rand for this pot.
So do you want to use this for panel lining?
Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly do like a bit of a wash in there. So what you might notice is sometimes the Nuln oil is not going to flow like panel liner that you're used to, or Nuln oil, or Newland oil, or you know what? If Citadel wants to make stuff that's difficult to pronounce, then they must deal with people mispronouncing it. Then the fans need to deal with it being mispronounced. What's his name? Abaddon, whatever. Potato. A Batman! He's not the hero we need, or deserve, or want, or just don't care about. Go away, Abaddon. I'm just doing that. Then quickly, I'm gonna roll this over. Oh crap. Oh no, I messed it up. Oh no, that will happen to you. No, nothing. I just still had some airbrush cleaner on there that I didn't expect. I was expecting it to be dry.
Oh, you were lifting the previous paint?
I lifted the previous paint. This will happen. Let's try that again. A better demonstration now. All the kids in the back. So this is normally what I do with this stuff is I'll mix it with a bit of flow. Thanks, Beefy. We got that one on tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise the levels.
Yeah. Special quotes for the episode.
Speak your truth. Actually, let's do a little bit of a party here. I'm going to put some of these pieces together so guys can actually see what they look like. Just a bit of grey here on the inside. Imagine you knew what you were doing for. Are any of you guys going to Ultra next week? I mean, that's the question. I just realized a little too late because I would have been happy to pay 600 Rand for a ticket. but I'm not so big on paying 1,200 rand for a ticket, and it's not VIP. Yeah.
I wanted to go, but then I was like, I don't really know many of the DJs. So...
I want to go for Adam Bayer and Kulch, because Kulch is amazing. And then Fisher is one of the best DJs in the world. Well, becoming one of the sort of growing to become. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Check how cool this piece looks. Now that it's got the grey and everything painted, it looks really pretty.
The Samus ball.
Yeah. Loop, 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 loop. How old are your friends?
Like late 20s.
What, going on 60? I'd still go clubbing. Not I would. Like, I would love to still go partying, but the problem is that I can't find any cool places to go anymore.
That's called being old.
Yeah, but no. Like, what I'm saying is like, yeah, but no, I like to go for the music and stuff. So I hate like commercial dance music. I don't care for. So I don't want to go to like I like Tiger for food, but I don't want to go there to go party. You know, I used to go and party in places like Truth and stuff. So I want that, but yeah, that's gone. That element of clubbing in South Africa is gone, and
My whole thing's like,
Nexus and
my whole thing's like, it's cool to go to the club, spend $500, and I can go listen to that music on my car with the sound system there. So,
yeah, no. You see, I DJ, I mix, so it's different for me. I feel that. I feel when a DJ is playing properly for a crowd. Well, Armin from Buren was amazing. Ferry Corsten was amazing. I can at least tell you that much. Before Armin van Buren became cock.
Look, I wanted to go watch. Only found out a week after with Amelie Lenz. Found out a week afterwards that she was here, and I was like,
but Amelie Lenz is more techno.
techno, yeah. You should mix it the two, but like,
I love Amelie Lenz. Yeah, she does a lot of melodic house and techno as well. Yeah, that's a trancy sound. Okay, guys, now that you've heard some cool music opinions, I just want to show you how cool this Gundam head is here. Check that out. So, like, there's a little eye. See, nice and easy. Hey, you didn't have to... Like, yes, I have experience. Yes, I've made mistakes. I actually find it easier for me to hand paint the eyes than to actually go through the whole process of masking everything, because that can be a real suck. Just want to bring this up here. We didn't get to finish the spine, and I didn't get to the Gundam markers, but I promise I will on the next one. So you can see that spine is looking a bit dirty and gross. I'm going to make it nice when I record another one of these, or if you come and check out the BuildMeet. From now on, these little videos, I think we might even just make them like 30 minutes. Just going forward, hey Jeff. Otherwise, they get too long, and you know, Beefy's patience will run out, and you know how it is.
Next time we can set a timer.
Yeah,
like tutorial. What's it? Tutorial in 5 minutes.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, I hope that helped. I hope that helped you formulate some good questions, guys. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped to answer some questions. Hopefully, it didn't confuse you. And maybe you're on your way, or you're on your way to the P&A, or looking online now for a bunch of cheap brushes to get your first project started with, and maybe you're looking at getting some colors to go with. And if you need some colors, this is my recommendation quickly. So just to go again, I think everybody needs a pure white and there's pure black, but it's like moved somewhere now. Yeah, you need pure white and you need pure black. Okay, those are going to be like super helpful for everything that you do with painting Gundams. This is going to help
for basing or even mixing.
Yeah, exactly, right? So this is going to make things brighter if you need to paint red or something over dark colors. And this is just great for the Gundam eyes, or if you want to put some black into a detail and then paint grey over it, which is also a great technique, and I might even show you that next time. I feel like the Phantom Grey is a really good one as well, because it's the kind of grey that you see on the mechanical pieces. And then either your selection, it's up to you, but I like SZ Red. I like this magenta. Maybe you want to get like the bright green or something for Gundam eyes. Those would be my highest recommendations for like the Vallejo paints that you want to get. And then maybe if you're feeling brave, you can get yourself like a silver or I think we got it here. It's the not the crazy. Where's it now, man? I had my steel, my Mecha Color Steel. There we go. Like the Mecha Steel, which is a nice one. So anyway, that's a nice little get started pack. You don't need a wet palette. You don't need all this other stuff. Just get yourself like what, these 5 paints more or less, and a set of brushes, and soon you can say goodbye to stickers forever.
Yeah, and then for wet palettes, you can just make your own DIY cheap ones. You know,
Yeah.
it's very simple.
Google how to make your own wet palette, or maybe if you guys are struggling with that, Jeff and I will.
Yeah.
Or Jeff.
Well,
can make a
basically,
tutorial
just
for you guys.
you need 3 things. Well, 4 things. You need a container, any container like Tupperware or whatever.
Yep.
Get like kitchen towels.
Kitchen towels and stuff.
Those are the easiest to find. For your like sponge that soaks up the water.
Yep.
And then for the actual paper, you just get parchment paper or baking paper.
Yeah.
Not wax paper. Wax paper, the water can't actually travel
through it.
So yeah, it's baking paper or parchment paper, and the 4th thing that you need is water.
Yeah.
They said like it's better to use distilled water, but I just use tap water.
I use tap water, and like I said, I pop a drop of sunlight liquid in.
Like, again, like me as a painter, I'm not too fussed. Like I don't really care that much, but yeah, you get really technical people that says, "Oh, use distilled water."
Well, the detergent, Anyway, we can have that discussion on another one. There's
For
a
me,
reason.
if it looks good, it's good.
There's a reason you want that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's neither here nor there, really.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. Then you can slam something towards the camera.
Let's
and
slam
say
something
goodbye.
towards the camera. Demi trainer ball.
Goodbye. Keep painting joy, guys. Bye. Till the next one. Goodbye.
Bye, nuts.
Goodbye.
Nuts.
Bye.
Nuts.
Goodbye.
Nuts.
Bye-bye.
Nuts.
Bye.
Testicles.
Okay.